Welcome in to I Remember My First Time.
Ugh,
Don't be nasty, Jacob. Not that first time.
damn it.
This is a podcast about cinematic awakenings,
I like the sound of that.
where we talk about movies we love with someone who just popped their cherry to that movie.
That, yes, that sounds exciting.
Jacob, are all the movies we do on this podcast going to be good movies?
God, I hope not.
Do we like shitty movies?
Oh, we love shitty movies. Sometimes, even more than good movies.
Are we critics?
Absolutely not.
But do we love movies?
Oh, we love the complete shit out of movies. And this week's masterpiece is our first Robert Rodriguez film, the 1995 gun-wielding classic, Desperado.
Jacob, nobody in this town reads.
BJ, I must go to confession. I am a sinner.
I am guitar case full of guns owner, BJ Leica.
Joined as always by me, crotch gun enthusiast, Jacob Ekus.
Desperado, described by
This is such a
Netflix.
good movie.
Netflix describes it as to avenge the death of his girlfriend, a mysterious guitar player hunts down the villainous drug lord responsible and forces him to face the music.
That's a pretty good description, Netflix.
For a little more of a breakdown, our IMDb plot summary. There is some spoilers in here if you want to skip ahead. This is a plot summary.
IRMFT, not IMDb. Everyone, BJ missed
Yes. This is our plot summary. We don't give a fuck what IMDb says about this movie. Thirsty for revenge on the elusive drug lord Bucho, a super hot guitar case of guns carrying Antonio Banderas just murks a bunch of people before he's shot in the arm and saved by the stunningly beautiful local bookstore owner played by Selma Hayek. Side note, of course they have one of the hottest sex scenes in movie history. Wow, what a scene. Anyway, Banderas kills the bad guy, and even though, spoiler, it turns out to be his brother, and then the super sexy couple drives away under the picturesque Mexican sunset in this incredibly Robert Rodriguez movie.
I like how you paused the whole review for wow, what a scene.
You gonna look me in the eye and tell me I'm wrong?
Hell no.
Okay, so Desperado has an IMDb, I said it correctly this time, ranking of 7.1 out of 10, a 69% Rotten Tomatoes score, and 55% on Metacritic. That's bullshit.
Yeah, but that's a pretty high Robert Rodriguez film on all counts. And I'm a fan of Robert Rodriguez movies.
We got our buddy Raj back, did a review of Desperado. What do you think he thought of it?
Oh, I don't really know because Robert Rodriguez is so good at so many things, and I don't think he gets enough credit. And I don't know. I would think Roger liked it because especially Desperado. Like maybe later in Rodriguez's filmmaking career, Roger starts to dislike him, but I think he enjoys Desperado.
2 out of 4 stars.
Okay, so he enjoyed it.
He writes, Rodriguez proved on El Mariachi on a budget of around $7,000. And now in Desperado, with a budget many times that, Robert Rodriguez proves it again. He has a gift for visuals that can make scenes dance on the screen. Unfortunately, what he hasn't learned how to do is structure a story so we care about the violence on more than just a technical level.
Nope. I cared about the story. I cared about the characters. I have every time I've watched this movie.
While speaking of Selma Hayek's character, he writes, she's just what a boy's looking for in a movie like this. Sexy, quickly seduced, and able to jump off roofs, shoot people, and toss her hair passionately. Women like this only exist in movies, and believe me, it's just as well. He
That's
ends
some
the
of the
review.
best Roger stuff we've ever had.
I loved it. I was laughing reading it the first time, and reading it now, I'm still laughing. It's such a funny line.
Awesome.
Ebert ends the review. Rodriguez has a lively color sense, a good feel for composition, and willingness to put the camera anywhere it can possibly go. What happens looks terrific. Now, if he can harness that technical facility to a screenplay that's more story than setup, he might really have something.
Okay. Like, I guess, Roger. Think that's a little harsh. This is an incredible movie. You know how
You got
incredible this movie is, BJ?
how incredible.
The first night I watched it, the shitty Wi-Fi where I'm at, it would load every 5 minutes, and each load took 3 minutes, and I made it through an hour before turning it off, and I was like, "I can't wait to finish this movie."
Oh, that sounds like a terrible way to watch a movie.
Oh, I'm not saying it was a good way to watch the movie. I'm saying that I enjoyed this movie enough that that didn't ruin it. That
You
that
got
ruins 9 out of 10 movies.
you got budget info for us?
Hell yeah, I got budget info. There's a reason Robert Rodriguez gets to make the most ridiculous shit in the entire world, and it's because of this movie. That's just my conspiracy theory thought, by the way. Though I don't know, but anyways, budget $7 million. Its opening weekend, it made $7,910,000.
This
So it made
movie was
all its
made
money back opening weekend.
this movie was made for only $7 million.
Yeah. Which
Oof.
what is that? What is that now?
Probably 15, 16, less than 20.
Yeah, 14 million. That's ridiculous. And it's gross worldwide about $25.5 million.
Should have been more.
Well, it should have been way more. This movie's amazing. Do you have a first time story for this movie?
I do not. Do you?
Oh yeah. My
Let's hear
first
it.
rated R movie was Gladiator. This was maybe my second or third. My dad let me watch it shortly after my mom and dad got divorced before he D'd out. I was like, 10, maybe 11. I knew what boobs were, and I knew what hot women were, and Smaya Hayek was hot. And there's just so much blood and gunfights and everything. I love this movie. And when I got to the sex scene, I can't tell you how many times that specific sex scene has been paused, fast forwarded to, rewound to. It was well used by me.
And like even watching it at this age, it's such a good sex scene, like with the quick, like the way they do those quick cuts.
Uh
So
huh.
it's not like an overdrawn, awkward sex scene. Like just comes
Yeah.
across the screen awesome.
This was also my first Robert Rodriguez movie. Didn't realize how much I would like him growing up after that, but it's crazy to me. I've still to this day never seen El Mariachi, and I have told myself for going on almost 2 decades now that I'll watch it,
So
and it's
this
been
was
streaming a couple times.
is there a sex scene in Gladiator?
No,
So this was your first sex scene to watch on screen.
oh yeah, ever.
Wow. What a good one.
What a what a good one, right? Second time you've described this scene as wow.
Won't be the last.
Okay, so what are your thoughts on the movie?
It is first things first, this is an absolute enjoyable watch. There's nothing I can say more than just sit back, relax, enjoy the violence, enjoy the blood, enjoy the gunfights, enjoy the boobs, enjoy the sex, just enjoy it all. It's such a wonderfully fun movie.
I agree with everything you said. It's a fun movie. It's an hour and 44 minutes. So, nothing. Movie's nothing. Watch it, enjoy it. Like you said, enjoy how well it's written, how well it's shot. The violence in this movie is incredible. I read I read on the trivia that they used bullets that exploded with blood instead of squibs and blood that goes out on impact or whatever that the actors wear, and it was so realistic they had to edit some of it out. That's how good the violence is in this movie.
So
It's
it was
95.
actually it was
They
actually
had to
more
edit out
violent.
blood because it was so realistic.
So it was more violent than what
Yes,
we saw.
and I want to see that version. Enjoy badass Antonio Banderas being sexy as hell too. BJ, did I
Yes,
thank you?
not yet.
No, no, no. He goes, "Did I thank you?" And she goes, "No." And he goes, "I will," and then walks off. Oh my god. If anybody wants to know, that's how you make it WAP.
uh,
Okay, keep going.
oh no, this movie, the one thing that is above and beyond this movie, everything about it looks great. The colors look great. The guns look great. The violence looks great. Antonio Banderas looks great. Selma Hayek looks great. Everything in this movie looks so damn good. There's no way, like, if you showed this to someone today, there's no way they would guess this movie was made in 1995.
Yeah, I agree. That's Robert Rodriguez for you. All his movies always look so good. Even the ones that are supposed to look bad, like Planet Terror, looks so good. Is there anything you didn't like about this movie?
Yeah, we didn't get to see the cop gun in use.
I was okay with it just being a callback to From Dusk Till Dawn.
Okay,
I
all right.
was okay with the Sex Machine callback.
I mean, it's definitely not a perfect movie, but there's nothing I don't like in the sense of I know what this movie is and it delivers every single thing it needs to deliver.
I totally agree, which is why I score it so high. It gives me everything that I wanted. And there's nothing that I don't like in this movie. Not one thing. That being said, good or bad movie?
Great movie.
Great movie. Far above good.
Do you consider this movie a western?
Yeah.
Okay,
It's a good
because
guy coming to a small western town, happens to be, taking on the ruthless bad guy that runs the town.
it's just an incredibly bloody western. But I was thinking about that
Yeah.
the other day. It's like it definitely checks all the boxes for a western, but watching it, I somehow don't feel like I'm watching a western.
Yeah. And I mean, again, that's Robert Rodriguez. Like From Dusk Till Dawn is a escape movie until it's not.
And then it's a
Planet
zombie
Terror doesn't
movie.
seem like a zombie movie, but it is. Spy Kids isn't supposed to be high class spy thriller, but it is. Like, yeah, it's just what this guy does. Have you ever seen Sin
It's that,
City?
yeah, yeah. Yeah, Robert Rodriguez essentially has that Wes Anderson quality where this is not none of what he does is like a genre movie. They're all just Robert Rodriguez movies.
Yeah, exactly. And like he recently made this movie called Hypnosis with Benny Flack. Thank you, Benny Flack. All hands raised up to you. Hallelujah. Showing us your
Big
dick.
Dick Ben.
Show us your dick, Michael Douglas. Anyways, so this movie's got Benny Flack, and I watched it on the airplane coming to Vietnam, and thought it was pretty fucking good. Enjoyed myself the whole time, and it's only an hour and a half. David watched it, and he's like, "I just watched the shittiest movie I've ever seen." I'm like, "No, you didn't. What is it?" He's like, "It's Ben Affleck's new movie." I was like, "The Robert Rodriguez one, Hypnosis." He's like, "Yeah, fuck that movie." I'm like, "That movie's good." He's like, "No, it's not. That movie fucking sucks." I'm like, "No, he didn't. He basically
uh,
took Christopher Nolan's self masturbation Inception at 2.5 hours and made it in an hour and 30 minutes, and made it fun." I'm about that.
well, I
But
think
yeah,
it's
check out Robert Rodriguez's new movie Hypnosis.
I think it's time to get deep in this movie now, Jacob.
Oh my gosh, how deep, BJ?
As deep as Antonio Banderas got in Selma Hayek.
He means balls deep, everyone. He means balls deep.
This was a tough one for me, dude. This was a
Was it?
tough one for me to come up with to pick the four scenes, not to come up with four scenes,
Yeah,
but
because
to
it's
pick
the whole
which four.
movie. Yeah,
So
can I
I'm
start
gonna
at the beginning and end at the end?
the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, and fourth quarter.
Yeah. All right, let's hear number 4.
We got to shout out our boy Danny Trejo as the knife throwing assassin, catching Antonio Banderas and then getting ambushed by Bucho's squad, who thinks he's the one that's been killing the crowd, and just the throwing the knives, jumping up on the limo, was so fucking cool.
Oh, it was so cool. This is what did you call this scene?
Danny Trejo scene.
Okay, I called it the confession scene because
Okay.
that's where I started. But this is also my number 4.
Yeah, and then, they drag him back to Bucho's place, and he's asking him what the assassin the Colombians brought looked like, and he's like, "Dark skin, dark hair." Yeah, I figured that. Tattoo of
Yeah.
a woman on his chest. He's like, "Oh, shit. Oops. Oopsie poopsie."
Yeah, figured that.
Throwing knives?
The
Uh-huh.
how he took out that limo full of men too. It just so cool. And the best part is the movie could have been over right there. Like he was about to kill Antonio Banderas. He was about to kill El Mariachi.
You said this was your fourth too?
Oh yeah, this
Uh,
has to
so
be
I'm
my
ass-
fourth.
so I'm assuming you're also adding the church confession with Buscemi.
Yeah, because for me
Okay.
that's when it starts. Because
That's fair.
Buscemi was so important to the intro of Danny Trejo.
Yep.
But yeah,
Anything and
talking about this scene reminded me of a quick side story about this movie because I went mariachi, like, you know, ridiculous.
uh
I was bartending, and my fellow bartender was talking to two Latino men. And I swear I watched this in real time. I had front row tickets. This is a core
eh,
memory for me.
I'm
You,
assuming bartender white as the driven snow.
oh, yes. Yeah. White as the driven snow could not describe this guy any better. And he goes, "Have you ever seen the movie Desperado with Antonio Banderas?" And I was like, "Oh my god, dude, you didn't have to do that. You could have just said Desperado with Antonio Banderas."
When in doubt, just say it like a white person. It's okay.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. They will correct you if it's important enough. And I don't know if it
Ugh.
makes the story better, but of course they'd seen it. It's Robert Rodriguez. They were Latino.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, your third favorite scene.
Third favorite scene is the Steve Buscemi describing El Mariachi and the first gunfight in the bar.
Did I send you my notes?
Is this okay? We may be we may be heading for a clean sweep here.
I don't think so because you add the gunfight in the bar in this scene, and that is a separate scene for me.
No, 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 no. The first bar gunfight.
Oh, the one that Buscemi describes.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, this is my third scene too.
This is so
Love
cool.
this scene.
Buscemi being the narrator works so well. Going back and forth between Buscemi and Banderas in the bar just immediately shows you how fucking sexy Banderas is, how fucking cool he is, how fucking badass he is, all in a really cool little, relatively short gunfight scene. I loved this scene. It sets you up so perfectly for the movie.
I agree with everything that you said. This scene's amazing. Love Buscemi as the narrator. This is one of those low key funny moments for me in the movie where he just keeps going, and the low life scum in this bar, but not like this bar.
Just
A lot of very fine gentlemen here.
Having Buscemi do that also sets you up to not take this movie too seriously.
Yes. Like, we're here to have a good time. This is a Robert Rodriguez movie. Hello, that's who I am. This works on so many levels. Loved this scene.
Like, it was so hard for me to put this scene at 3 because it's so good.
And- Me too. The biggest Mexican I've ever seen.
And it's 158-pound Banderas.
And I love it being Cheech from Cheech and Chong.
The
Of
most
course, the
under
bartender never dies.
the most underrated actor of our generation, Cheech.
Our generation and the generation before us, let's be real. Good third scene. All right, BJ, what's your second scene?
It's the sex scene.
Okay.
Is
I
this
didn't
where
put the
we
sex scene
differ?
in my Mount Rushmore. I didn't put the sex scene in my Mount
Wow.
Rushmore because of my first time story.
Okay. I mean,
Yeah.
what can I say about it? This is two of the hottest people Hollywood has ever produced, just going at it in a really cool shot scene. Like I said, I think the beauty of it is how short it is, and then hard cutting to the very depressing Bucho sex scene.
Oh yeah. And this and like we talked about earlier, the cuts with the scene, how quickly it's cut and how well it flows and how you see so much but also so little. Even that frontal snap of Samaya Hayek was maybe a second. And I'm thinking more like half a second.
Yeah, because you had to be real quick on the VCR pause button when you were 13 watching that.
I was just about to say to pause it on that frame with the VCR, like there's talent that can't be spoken. You know what I mean?
It's it, it's like it's a wonderful sex scene. I just can't
Yeah,
speak. I can't say anything more than wow again about this scene.
yeah, yeah. Does so this is our first Mia Hayek movie, right?
As
'Cause we
far as
didn't do
I
From Dusk Till
know,
Dawn. We didn't do From Dusk Till Dawn on the pod. I watched that on my own this past year, right?
we have not done it on the pod. No.
Okay. She's on the Mount Rushmore. Who's she kicking off? She finally kicking off that teacher of you that you've been keeping on there?
Yeah, yeah. In fact, she might be moving up like right below Sharon Stone from Basic Instinct.
I think Samaya Hayek and Sharon Stone are a true Mount Rushmore. We need to find two more.
Yeah,
I don't
because
think there's one in behind.
Banderas in this movie is on the male Mount Rushmore of hot dudes.
Oh, for sure. The best part is that Nema didn't see it. She was just like, I mean, it's his attitude and his walk and everything that does it for me, but I don't think he's that attractive. And I'm like, really?
She
He
doesn't
looks
like
hot as
skinny
hell.
guys.
I mean, look at me. Probably not. Because even when I get done losing all this extra weight, skinny is far from what I'll be.
Yeah, no, you won't be that skinny ever.
Yeah. So probably. Anyways, so my number two scene, now that we've got something different, is I call it, what do I call it here? I call it the El Mariachi groupies, his buddies that show up.
Yep. Okay. Cool. Cool.
Like a bazooka guitar case and how he handles it. Just his stance when he shoots it, going down into like the dance stance and like flipping it up. So cool.
Shooting it out of both ends.
Yeah.
How he racks it by just kind of dropping and pulling up real hard on the guitar case.
It's utterly incredible. And
Uh,
then the machine gun guitar case, and this all, of course, starts with the little conversation between Antonio Banderas and Samaya Hayek, where she straight up tells him that he doesn't care, just only about his own thing, and he's like, "All right, bet, I'll call my boys." And then he calls them, and at the end of the phone call, he goes, "Oh, and bring your guitar cases. They know what's up."
yeah, this was my number one scene. So I thought this was a great final gun battle scene because it was
Yeah,
different from the previous gun battle scenes that we've seen with
yeah,
the machine gun and rocket launcher guitar
yeah.
cases, which is so funny to say on
It
a
it
podcast.
I remember the first time that I saw this, and I thought it was one of the coolest things I'd ever seen in my entire life. And I just watched this movie last night, and it's still one of the coolest things I've ever seen in my entire life. So I was
Selma
right back
Hayek,
then.
Selma Hayek smushing two people with the Jeep.
Yeah. What a badass Jeep too. God,
Yeah,
what a
again,
cool car.
just everything in this movie is cool. Even the shitty Jeeps and the Cadillac limo were fucking cool.
Yeah. Uh, okay. My what was your number 2 scene?
Number 2 was the sex scene. Number 1 was that final scene.
Okay, okay. Oh, one more thing about this El Mariachi groupie scene. Did you say that we love that the bazooka guitar case loaded like a shotgun?
Yes, that you kinda had to rack it.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Wanted to make sure we hit that. My number 1 scene, you know what it is, now that we've gone through everything. It's
Is it
the
the
shootout with Tarantino.
Okay, yeah. I just I just liked the first one a little bit better than this. It was so hard to leave this one off.
Yeah, and the first one was good. I just this one was so good for me. There's so much blood. You start off with this ridiculous Tarantino character and his stupid joke.
What a horrible
You
joke. And actually, I was a little surprised because usually when Tarantino comes on screen, I'm like, "Okay, cool. We're about to see the worst character of all time. Just a deplorable human being." And, like, he wasn't all that bad. Just told a
yeah,
horrible joke.
love Tarantino. And then after we get done with Mount Rushmore, I have a side question on a movie related talk that I'll bring up shortly. But this scene was also just so funny to me too. Just the Tarantino thing, them freaking out about him walking in, and he's like, "I told you I'm a musician." And then how long it took to load the guns. I thought that was a great bit. Oh, and the guy that when they both ran out of bullets, the last guy. I'm this scene also had so much comedy for me too.
Can I, on a side note here, you looked up the bad reviews. Were like 80% of the bad reviews talking about how unrealistic the number of bullets in the magazines were for these guns?
Oh, wait, hold on. One more funny thing about the scene. I love that he would just unload 2 clips into one person. Love that. And then have to do a slow reload. Again, this it loved it. Cannot express how much. And then spoiler alert for the reviews, I read a total of 1 good review and 1 bad review because I found them from the get-go.
Okay, all right, never mind.
I do know on the bad reviews that there's little to none. There's 7 1 stars, 4 2 stars, 4 3 stars.
But
So,
how is this movie only a s I guess a lot of I can see a lot of people giving this movie like a 7 or 8,
yeah,
like a
I can't
6,
do it.
7, or 8. I can see that.
But yeah, that was my number 1 scene. It was just too good and too funny. I wonder if David's ever seen this movie because I wanna know what he thinks about the comedy of that scene.
It is pretty funny, and, like, you know, Cheech Marin, funny guy, can't help but be funny in that scene when he's hiding behind the bar.
Yes, totally agree. That was a good Mount Rushmore. I think we probably would have had a clean sweep if you didn't include the sex scene in your Mount Rushmore.
I wasn't not going to.
I know, but I'm just saying in an alternate universe where we know that that's on the Mount Rushmore, so you have to pick 4 different scenes. That's a boring way to do a podcast because we got to talk about the sex scene twice in this podcast. So I'm not saying that it'll ever happen. I'm just saying in that universe, we probably would have had a clean sweep.
Alright.
Good Mount Rushmore is all I'm trying to say. Movie related talk. What is it, BJ?
Old Roberto Rodriguez.
Oh, we've talked so much about him. Before we continue, I'm doing my little side question here, and I know I'm springing this on you on the moment. What were things in this movie that cracked you up more than they should have? And I'm gonna go ahead and
Ooh.
answer when you think about it. It was how casual they were about cleaning up the dead bad guys. and the
Yes,
college kid showing up to that bar. I
the
thought that
two
was so funny.
the two scenes with the college students for sure, where the 1995 version of Karen is talking to him about service,
Oh,
and the
okay, okay,
casual "Can't you see we're closed" cleanup.
yes.
Uh,
Is yours the two college kids? Because I wasn't even thinking about the first one that is funny, but I just mean like just the dead guys. Like he's like, "Can't you see we're closed?" And then the second time it happens when they're actually cleaning up the dead guys, and Danny Trejo walks in, and they're just moving them and mopping the floor with this bloody water. I thought that was so fucking funny.
I also thought how much Steve Buscemi was enjoying that clearly shitty warm beer. One of the best beers I ever had.
It's a good one. That's a good one. Okay, Robert Rodriguez. That's a good segue into this movie related talk because the comedy that he puts in all of his movies is unparalleled with the type of movies that he makes.
Yeah,
And
and the
I love
hit
that about Robert Rodriguez.
I think what he does better than anybody is everything he makes is better than it should be.
Yes.
Like, this is probably like a year ago now, but I watched Shark Boy and Lava Girl with my kids, and I'd never seen it before. And I was just kind of watching it with them. And I finished it, and I was like, that movie was 10 times better than it should have been. And
Yeah.
that's how I feel about just about every Robert Rodriguez movie.
Maybe that's my defense for David on the Hypnosis movie. Because, I mean, it's not like it was good, but it was an hour and a half where that's how long Inception should have been.
Yeah, he seems like the director. You can just give him a shitty script, and he's like, I'll make you a 7 out of 10 movie with this dog shit
Yeah.
script.
The original Spy Kids 2, Spy
Yeah,
Kids 3D with Sylvester Stallone.
those are all better movies than they should be, and just everything he does looks so cool.
It looks so cool. I'm thinking of every Robert Rodriguez movie, and they all look so cool. From Dusk Till Dawn, the zombies were so good in that.
I mean,
Uh,
obviously Sin
Planet
City,
Terror.
right?
Oh, Sin City's got that subtle comedy too, where
Sin City.
Mickey Rourke is driving along in the car, and he's holding that guy's face into the concrete, and he goes, "I don't know about you, but I'm having a ball."
Now, I'm not the biggest fan of Sin City, but that's one of the coolest looking movies that's ever been made.
I'm the biggest fan of Sin City. That's one of the movies that I've seen an ungodly amount of times. I've still never
Uh,
seen Once Upon a Time in Mexico. So the only El Mariachi movie I've seen is Desperado. I haven't
oh,
seen El
Once Upon a Time
Mariachi
in
or Once
Mexico is
Upon a
good.
Time in Mexico. Okay.
This is the best of the three. Like El Mariachi is cool just because of how kind of cheap and charming it is, and Once Upon a
Yeah.
Time in Mexico is pretty good, but this is by far the best.
Okay. What else about Robert Rodriguez can we talk about? I love how much friends he is with Quentin Tarantino. Tarantino directed a whole scene in Sin City. Sin City actually got Robert Rodriguez kicked off the Directors Guild in Hollywood because he co-directed it with Frank Miller, and they're like, "You can't do that." And he's like, "Well, I'm gonna. But you can't be part of the Directors Guild then." He's just like, "Okay,"
Even like
which makes him financing his own movies even harder, which makes me like him even more.
because even like the Cohen brothers and the Farrelly brothers and those guys like play the game of that. Rodriguez is like, I'm not playing your stupid ass little game.
Yeah, because like one Coen brother gets the directing credit and the other one gets the producer credit
Yeah, or whatever. I don't know how they do
or
it.
writing credit. It doesn't matter. Yeah, and Robert Rodriguez is like, "No, fuck you guys. He directed part of it. He's the co-director. And because you're gonna make such a big deal out of this, I'm gonna bring Tarantino in to direct a scene, and you're not gonna do anything to him because you like him a lot."
But yeah, summing that up, we like Robert Rodriguez. He makes really cool movies and makes movies that are way better than they should be.
Yep.
And we
Yep.
love him.
Yeah, I've yet to see a Rodriguez movie I don't like. If it happens, I'm ready, but I doubt it. All right, character breakdown.
We got to start with El Mariachi himself, Antonio Banderas.
How ridiculous is that story?
It,
Oh, he's so cool in this movie. Like I tried to make the joke earlier, but it's just like it happens twice in the movie, and it's so good each time. Did I thank you? No, I
I
will.
will.
Like I said, guys, you want to make that wow like that.
Like everything is so cool. Like his wardrobe is so cool. The guitar
Hmm.
case of guns, the Desert Eagle, the
How he
the
his hair, how he puts his hair up.
it's all so his walk, his confidence, his
Yep,
cute little butt, everything is
yep.
so cool.
Oh, got me out of left field with that one. I thought I said the most gay thing when I was like his hair and how he puts his hair up, but no.
Nope, I wanted to smack that ass.
Uh, too good. Yeah, that sums up Antonio Banderas. Couldn't have said it better. I want to smack that ass. Samelia Hayek. Speaking of smacking ass, Antonio smacked that ass.
Phew, man. She looks better in
Ha-
this than she does in Dusk Till Dawn.
Yes, 100%. And she looks good in From Dusk Till Dawn.
Yeah, yes. She's just
Uh,
one of the best looking people Hollywood has ever put in movies.
Agreed. And she does incredible with this role. I, I
She
loved I
probably
loved ge- I loved getting introduced to her and the car wreck happening in the intersection.
that was that was great.
Again with the comedy.
And you know, from a character perspective, she probably has the most character weight in this movie and does a
Yeah.
really good job with it. You know, being sympathetic to her and her wanting to fight back but not really knowing. uh, it's not the it does a fine line of being the damsel in distress, but she can still take care of herself. That I really enjoyed this character as a whole,
Yeah. Me I agree with everything you just said. Great
along with
character.
along with a phenomenal body.
Yeah, smoke show. Who's next? Is it El Bucho?
El Bucho. I don't know, just a typical bad guy. Thought he was good.
Yeah, I loved how outlandish Rodriguez can make his bad guys. Like I loved him getting upset about the car on the phone. And one of my favorite things that bad guys do in bad movies is they kill their own henchmen. I think that's always so funny. It was the best part of The Expendables 3 when Mel Gibson did that.
I,
One of the best parts of this movie.
that
So
was
good.
another good comedy when he killed the first henchman with the guy with the awesome mustache. He was like, I don't know that guy.
So good.
Did
Cheech, the most underrated direct actor of the last two generations.
We're a pro Cheech podcast.
You know, big time pro Cheech podcast. This movie has a lot of pros for us in it. But yeah,
Yeah.
Cheech was great.
Yeah, not a whole lot for him to do in this movie, but he makes the absolute most of it as an actor.
Yes. Which is a good segue into Buscemi, the last character we're breaking down.
Yeah, I thought, despite I said Hayek had the most kind of emotion on the character, but Steve Buscemi does such a great job of setting up the story and just letting you know what this movie is about. And young Steve Buscemi, not as goofy looking. Like I feel like they accentuate his goofy qualities now. In this movie, I was like, oh, he looks somewhat normal. He just has big eyes.
Yeah, big eyes and weird teeth. But really, have you been to America? Like, weird teeth, it's a thing. Travel in the South. See all kinds of weird teeth. Buscemi's don't look that bad.
But yeah, I thought he
Come
was
on.
crucial to the movie as a whole. Just like I said, just starting off with him describing El Mariachi and just you're like, okay, I know exactly what I'm in for.
Yes. And it's going to be glorious. And it was. All right,
Glorious.
DJ, you ready? You ready for
Trivia
this
time?
trivia for this movie?
Let's
Trivia
go.
time. All right. We've already talked about this with the budget, but it took $7 million to make this movie. That's 1,000 times the amount of money Rodriguez spent to make El Mariachi at $7,000.
That doesn't even make any sense. There's people that spend $7,000 to make a fucking TikTok now.
Yeah, like it. Thank you for making El Mariachi so you could continue to make movies for us for the rest of your life because they're also awesome.
7 grand. Wow.
During the production of the film, director Robert Rodriguez and actor Danny Trejo discovered that they're second cousins.
No shit. That's
Yeah,
cool.
that's fucking awesome. Yeah. Which we didn't mention this movie when we were talking about Rodriguez, but Machete is fucking amazing.
Oh, yeah.
During a 2019 interview with Terry Gross on Fresh Air, Antonio Banderas recalled the experience of making this movie on an extremely small budget given the requirements of the shoot. It was crazy. We did a movie with practically no money. We did a movie with $3 million. For an action movie, that's practically nothing. There was a guy in the movie, a stunt guy, that I kill like 9 times. I killed the guy with the beard, without a beard, with a mustache, with blonde hair, with glasses, without glasses. I mean, I think the guy who made the most money in the movie was the stunt guy.
That's great. I killed the same guy like 12 times.
The same penis gun that Sex Machine uses in From Dusk Till Dawn can be seen in this movie. When Carolina pulls it out, the mariachi says, "It saved my life many times."
Yeah, I really was hoping it would get used, and it wasn't.
We
There's a
have a list
penis
of
gun in
weapons
this
here.
movie.
Huh?
Okay. Yeah, I just said there's a penis
Oh,
gun
yeah,
in this
yeah.
movie.
Which, just the fact that I read that there's a penis gun in this movie just makes this movie so much cooler. The film uses an extensive list of weapons. They are as follows: the handgun, the handguns, a Desert Eagle MK 1X1, a Rucker KP90, like 15 other handguns. For shotguns, we have sawed-off Rossi Overland, Centennial Arms Striker, and a Remington 870. And then automatics, there's like 10. Other weapons, there's like 50. I'm just kidding. There's like 20 here, but go check them out if you want to. There's a hand grenade. Oh, the guitar cases were equipped with MAC 10s and a rocket launcher.
All the guns
So
looked great too. The Desert Eagle,
check them out.
especially.
Yes. Rodriguez said in the DVD commentary that the day they shot Samelia Hayek's love scene, the entire crew showed up to see it. He then continues saying that apart from the actors, only he and the script supervisor were in the room.
So everybody was hoping to see it, and he was like, "Fuck you guys, y'all aren't all
Yeah,
watching
you
this.
fucking
You
you
fucking
fucking
pervs."
pervert. Yeah.
Which Robert Rodriguez saying that is a little bit pot calling the kettle black.
Oh, what has he done? Don't tell me he's done bad stuff.
Oh, I've just seen his movies and how women are represented in his movies.
Oh, okay. Fair. Fair. John Leguizamo was Robert Rodriguez's second choice to play the role of El Mariachi if Antonio Banderas turned down the role.
Gross.
This is a different movie with John Leguizamo.
It's not good. I don't want
Rodriguez had
I don't want
originally
El Mariachi with a New York accent.
fair. Rodriguez had originally written a rock version of the song Malaguanina Sarasola, Salarosa into the screenplay. It would later be performed by his band Chingon during the end credits of Kill Bill Volume 2.
The Tarantino relationship.
Another Tarantino relationship. Tarantino, a good friend of Rodriguez, and as usual, found a cameo role in this movie. suggested a sequel should be called Once Upon a Time in Mexico. A mere 19 years later, he stuck to the theme with his own Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Mm. All right.
And then lastly, for trivia, Samelia Hayek took her parents to see the movie and her brother, but made them go into the lobby when the sex scene came on. Awesome. Like, no, you have to leave the room right now. I'm not watching this with you.
If it honestly, if I was her parents or sibling, I would have absolutely willingly gone to the lobby.
Yeah, you would have been like, no worries. Got you, girl.
All right,
But yeah,
cool,
good
cool.
trivia for this movie.
Yeah. Are you ready for the impersonation?
Yeah, what's on the docket today?
You gonna hit me with your best Antonio Banderas? Boy, these
Oh,
just warning right here. These are gonna be super fucking racist.
not on purpose, though.
It is I, El Mariachi. I can't play the guitar very well, but my fingers, they work for something else, if you know what I mean. How about I thank you with my fingers? I told you I'd thank you later. That's all I got.
I mean, that was good. I that was good. I don't know where I'm gonna go with this, but okay, I think I got it. Hello, it is me, Mariachi, and my fingers were shot a long time ago. But the guitar is not the only musical instrument I play. Man, my accent is bad. I'm just gonna end it right there.
I I feel like you were trying to channel Puss in Boots, and you went into Shrek there at the end.
That was good. But yeah, you definitely won that one handedly. That was bad for me.
Final thoughts on the movie with our ratings.
Oh,
I
this movie's incredible.
I,
Like I
I
can't say enough about this movie.
yeah, I love this movie. I think it's great. I think this movie is an 8.8.
Okay, 8.8, rounding up to a 9.
Yeah, 8.8. So much fun, really good, really cool, really sexy. It's awesome.
That's a good rating, rounding up to 9. This movie's all those things that you said and just amazing. I don't know if it's Rodriguez's best movie. It probably is. This movie gets a 9.6 from me.
All right.
Round up round up to a 10 if you need to.
Oh man, the people are gonna hate us for rating this movie this high.
Fuck them. They're wrong.
Yep. Yeah. So this goes without saying, but we both think everyone should watch this movie, right?
Yeah, everyone and their mamas.
And except for Selma Hayek's mama needs to go to the lobby for one scene.
Yeah, and dad.
Yeah,
Such a
like
good movie.
I guess and like because as bloody as it is, it's almost comically violent, where it doesn't feel as violent because it's comically violent, because that's what Robert
Yes,
Rodriguez does.
yes, totally agree. All right, good and bad IMDb reviews. And like I said earlier, I read a grand total of 2 reviews for this movie because these were that good. So, BJ, enjoy.
Let's go.
10, 10 out of 10. Movie Meister 113. Titled Plot. We don't need no stinking plot.
Yep.
I've heard many people say that they couldn't follow the plot of this flick. I think they totally missed the point of this movie. It's an action movie. That's the whole plot. It's called Let's Find the Bad Guy and His Henchmen and Kill Them. I thought it was an absolute genius. Skip the plot and go straight to the action. Banderas was pure fire, all his emotions smoldering just beneath the surface. The stunts and effects were first rate and extremely entertaining. Even the extras did great work. I would recommend this film to anyone who is wanting some great entertainment. Mark me, don't go looking for some Oscar winning dramatic performances. but it is fun, pure, unadulterated fun. Also, the photography is absolutely first rate, as the almost Kubriesque atmosphere of the film.
I thought the plot was very simple to follow. Guy wants revenge on bad guy. Guy gets revenge on bad guy.
I also thought that, BJ, but people are dumb.
Yeah, he
All
nailed
right,
it.
my bad. Yeah, totally. My bad review. A little bit longer, but this is straight gold. Tallwood 1328, 3 out of 10, titled Bargain Bin O. This movie starts out with such promise. Steve Buscemi spins such a story around the hero of the story. He walks into this greasy bar, which of course the bartender is Cheech from Cheech and Chong. He has all of them on the edge of their greasy seats about how amazing this gunfighter is. I'll give them an extra star for the world's most overrated director of the last generation or so being shot in the face. I hope they flushed his corpse down the toilet with the secret passage in it with his movies Pulp Fiction and Reservoir Dogs with him.
Whoa.
Yeah. Danny Trejo is hardly in this. You can count the scenes on one hand. The fight scenes, the actors are trying too hard to do those kicks like they saw in Bloodsport and similar JCVD movies. Seeing Danny with short hair is like seeing Steven Seagal without a ponytail, too. At first, they do such a great job of giving Antonio this dark and mysterious persona, but what I don't like about him is he's too skinny. He may have the look, but he just looks like an angry vegan. Though Salma does provide some good chemistry, as I feel she kept the movie from being a 1 star where I turn it off. But what I find silly about it is she's a doctor because she read a bunch of books on it. That's like a trashy kid thinking he's ready for a NASCAR event because he's watched NASCAR a bunch with his father, or an even fatter, dirtier kid thinks he's ready to be a wrestler because he watched an episode of WWE.
She's not a doctor. She did one stitch job.
Also,
Like it's
you
not
go
that
to a
hard.
place.
It's not that hard to stitch somebody up.
Yeah. Currently, I'm in southern Cambodia, and I asked if I needed to go to the hospital. Where should I go? And every response you get from the locals is not here. You have to go 3 hours north of Phnom Penh. So we're in 2024. This guy can shut the fuck up. It's 95. It's not weird that she read a book and is doing the job
Yeah,
of
and
a
like
non life threatening wound.
yeah, like it's hot water, hydrogen peroxide, and stitches. Like it,
I like
whatever.
I like the over the top shooting in this. They try their hardest to have some humor in it, but it just doesn't work. The movie is too long. They could have edited a bunch of it out and still maintained the continuity of it. There was even a gunfight near the end that they could have completely edited out and not affected the story. The ending without revealing anything was insultingly lazy. The sex scene has all kinds of weird angles in it. Everyone in this movie looks so sweaty and in dire need of a shower. It reminds
Yeah,
me of a JCVD movie where the one where John Claude is mute in it. This just comes off as some watered down romance novel where it's like a peso store version of Fabia, who is a Mexican who falls in love with this woman out of his league. There are so many people that survived in the industry, thankfully, from this. As I feel it came out today, it would have bombed. Luckily, they had fun heckling the tourist. The musical score works, the locations are kind of bland. Ways this movie could work and improve the story. It's so boring, better dialogue, or cut some parts out. I didn't care for Antonio in this movie. Should you watch this today, even if someone gave you a free DVD of it? No. The only people who would appreciate this are people who saw it in theaters 30 plus years ago or hardcore Antonio Banderas fans.
so we've fawned over Robert Rodriguez in this podcast. Notice not one of us has said anything about the dialogue in Rodriguez movies because that's not why we're watching them.
Correct.
And I'm a little confused on his Antonio Banderas being skinny thing. Is that just a 2024 thing that
Maybe.
we're shocked that the hero doesn't look like Chris Hemsworth in Thor? Because
Yeah, maybe.
like he's not he's not overpowering guys. He's just shooting them. And how big you are doesn't have anything to do with how good of a shot you are.
I mean, if anything, it makes you a bigger target.
Yeah. Was he implying that Selma Hayek was out of was out of Antonio Banderas's league?
I think so.
That's just not true.
But weren't those good reviews? He shit on Tarantino so hard. I don't think this guy really likes movies.
I think he thinks every movie should be going for an Oscar.
Mm.
It's like, you know, the scene where they were shooting missiles out of a guitar case? They could have done away with that scene. No, they couldn't have. They were shooting fucking missiles out of a goddamn guitar case.
Yeah.
Fucking loser.
You were not welcome on the pod. Don't even hit us up. Good movie, good movie. Well, that's us, IRMFT. Hope you enjoyed your first time with Desperado. We are on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Hit us up. Start listening to the podcast. Tell us what you don't like. Because we, like, after weeks of this racking my brain, I'm like, maybe I do too much trivia. Like, maybe it bogs down our podcast. And if y'all would just listen to it and hit us up on social media, I would have known that months ago.
Yeah, because this one's probably gonna be a clean hour.
Yeah, I think so too. So tune in. IRMFT. We release every week. Hope y'all enjoyed Stone Cold Day with the 98 Royal Rumble.
Yeah, let us know. Did you hate that? Did you love it? Yeah, we'd love to just do random wrestling events.
Current and old. We can have so much fun with it. There's so many good wrestling matches and so many bad ones. You just got to let us know.
But yeah, that's us at IRMFT. Hope you guys enjoyed Desperado with Antonio Banderas. Great story, Jacob.
You're welcome. Until next time.
Bye.